J-Mill for Real presents the X's and Oh No's NFL podcast featuring your co-host, J-Mill and
Yeah, I'm just the guy that's destroying you in every fantasy league you're in.
wait
That
a minute.
that's my name this week. The guy that
Oh,
destroys you in every
oh,
fantasy league you're in.
and you destroyed me this past week in Loaf. So yes, good job with that. Battle conceded, war still on. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what's happening this year. It's been pretty impressive, right? Like, I mean, 7-2 in Woth, 8-1 in our spouse league that you're not in this year. But then an
that
abysmal collapse and
but yeah, no. So yeah, no. Wait, and you're also dominating another league that you're in too, right?
yeah, I am. I'm dominating a league that's based with people from New Jersey that I've only met one of them, but I had to fill in a couple years ago. And now I'm just running roughshod on that league too.
And
So
then you forgot about two leagues you were in, so you're in last place in those. So,
yeah, I did. That is because I don't. There's one. I'll throw it out there. I'm not going to call it out by name because I don't want to upset any listeners. But there's one application and one platform I just don't enjoy. So I accidentally forget to check it,
oh, I
and then
was,
I thought,
but one of those leagues is on the other platform that you do enjoy.
oh no, I tried in that week.
Oh,
I tried
oh
for
wow.
I tried for the
Never
first
mind.
couple.
I'm sorry.
No, no, I tried for the first couple weeks in that league. I just my that I was defending champion. I
Yeah.
think we can let people know that I was defending champion. It just did not work. I Whatever happened last year versus this year did not pan out again.
Hey, you know what happens? That's the nature of auction leagues. You blow too much on something early, and you think you're going to piece it together, and then it just doesn't piece together. Like,
Yeah, just a lot like the Indianapolis Colts thought they had their guy. They thought they could, make do, and then they couldn't. And then they go Jeff Saturday. I just want to talk about that for a second
let's talk
because
about that. I love Jeff
man,
Saturday. I don't know if he's going to be a good
I
coach.
I love this hire because at
Okay.
the end of the day, this isn't a good football hire in my opinion because I mean I don't know anything about him as a coach because none of us do. The guy's only ever coached high school football.
Yeah, and he was
Um,
an ESPN analyst at the point in time when he got hired. So that's the other great thing about it. It's kind of like, yeah, you're not on a team right now, but get over here. You're the only application we got.
yeah, I love how I guess he's a consultant for the Colts and he's been a
Okay.
consultant for them all year. And since he retired, he's been doing consulting work while he still worked for ESPN. And they said even like people that work for ESPN had no idea that he was even in consideration for getting an NFL coaching job until it was announced that he was the head coach of the Colts. And I was like, this is the perfect job for somebody to take a flyer on because the guy bleeds blue. He's got Peyton Manning in
Yeah.
his corner. Peyton's going to help him out where he can.
Yep.
Um, but at the end of the day, it's your
But
team's not
I'm
going to
sure that I'm sure he was surprised when he got the call. You're the coach. Like, this is this is one of those true examples of if there's a job that you want, and even if you're underqualified for it, get the application out anyway. You might have been the only
do.
person to get it in, right?
Well, I'm thinking the biggest thing here was that they were like, hey, Jeff, maybe we go with Jeff, give him a shot because the season's more than halfway over. They're not in playoff contention anymore. They don't have a quarterback that they're trying to get ready because they're obviously going to need to draft one.
Yeah.
So it's like, what better opportunity is there to give Jeff Saturday a shot? Like you're
Yeah.
playing for nothing. You're hoping to lose. So if the guy's not very good, awesome, you get a better draft pick. If he is good, you're like, oops, we accidentally found our new head coach.
Well, no NFL team is hoping to lose.
Yeah, let's go ahead and not forget that Miami tried to pay Brian Flores to lose game.
uh,
But
man.
it's Veterans Day here, so it's a day off. That's why there's no Hawaiian shirt. There's no actual button up either. So for those of you that are watching the online stream, and you're like, why is he wearing a t-shirt? That's why I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Awesome.
So,
And for those of you who don't know this, Joshua served our country, and just do you want to give a few words for veterans real quick? So big thank you
No,
to
I
you
just
and all who have served.
yeah, I just the only thing I'd say about veterans is if you have suicidal ideations, the number changed to 988. The cool thing about today is that it's the official it's the official launch of the marketing campaign for the 988 number. They did the soft launch
Okay.
about a couple weeks ago, and they've got rid of the 188 get help number. It now link it does they still own it, but now it goes to the 988 number. So
Oh, good.
if you're a veteran and you're struggling, 988 and in case you don't know, once every 44 minutes a veteran in this country takes their own life.
Yeah.
Um, to put it in comparison, we've lost more veterans to suicide in the last 10 years than we lost in Iraq. So something's not right there. And yeah, just remember they don't know you don't know what their struggles are. You don't know the things that even the people that didn't get deployed, you don't know the things that they had to go through while they were stateside. So moving on though, let's talk about things you did know. Tom Brady's comeback last week was way better than that Thursday night football game. So I'm going to ignore that Thursday night football game for a second and say,
Go for it.
my goodness, that man is not good anymore. Barely serviceable. But when it comes down to it, you give him the ball with 44 seconds left and a shot to win the game, he's just going to find a way.
Yeah, he's a winner. He may be a shell of his former self. He may be he may be the molten exterior of what he used to be. But
So, I know it's early,
yeah,
but I want to ask.
he has some pretty sharp passes from time to time too. It's just I don't know. He's not what he was. So
I know it's early, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. So 1 minute or less. Have you been listening to the Let's Go podcast or listening to any of this weird romance between him and Bill Belichick?
no, I have not. Tell me
Oh,
more. Tell me more.
Tom just went on a 5 minute rant the other day about how much Bill Belichick is a genius. He's the greatest coach in NFL history. He's brilliant. And how Tom actually said on the podcast, he made me the man I am. He made me the quarterback I am. I owe him my career. And he was like, if I ever
Okay.
get a chance, he said, if I ever can get a chance to play for him again, I would envy the situation. Bill Belichick on Monday, he's on WEI in the morning on the Great Coach Show, says, if I could ever get a chance to coach Tom Brady again, I'll go to where I have to go to coach him. Brady says, I'll go to where I have to go to play for him. And it's like these two, man, turns out the problem really was Giselle. So it's a lot like when you have that relationship in high school where that girl tells you can't hang out with your friend. And then all of a sudden, you guys break up and you get to go hang out with your friends again. That seems what happened in New England here. So
Wow.
when Belichick breaks Shula's mark, is it Mac Jones, Tom Brady, or another quarterback? I just want to put you on the record now and answer that question. He's only got 21 more wins to go, so he's going to break John Shula's mark.
I'm gonna go with another quarterback.
Okay, I feel that's the easiest answer because you don't even have to know which one it is. You just have to, know it's not one
Oh,
of those two.
let's put it as I'll go with Bailey Zappi because he's going to claim the job before the end of the season is over, and it will be to a point where he will not be able to justify if Tom Brady wants to be his quarterback's coach, by all means. If he wants to be the veteran influence that's backing up Billy Zappi and molding him, by all means. I don't think Bill. I'm not sure as big as the man crush is between Belichick and Brady. I really don't think that Belichick is going to risk getting fired because he chose to start an aged out Tom Brady over an upcoming star in Bailey Zappi.
Brady looks worse this year than Peyton did in his final year.
Disagree, but Rodgers looks worse this year than either of them.
Rodgers looks awful. I wanted to text you so bad on Sunday. I was so happy that I was able to restrain myself. Rodgers looked like trash. He's now lost to the Commanders, the Giants, the Jets, and the Lions. Rodgers is a bum.
Well, okay, so the Jets and the Giants are good teams. So let's not lump us in
I'm
with.
not sure if you know this, but you have a cheerleader behind you that is dancing, and it is hilarious.
Yes, it is absolutely wonderful. I'm waiting for her to poke her head over my shoulder and be like, "Hi."
Hi.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but losing to Detroit, it's not even losing to Detroit Lions. It's not okay. No, not too much of the ba la la. But it's not even scoring 10 points against Detroit. That's what the problem is, right? And by the way, I know you Did you notice what my waiver pickup in the Dynasty League was? I picked up Jordan Love this week.
Nice. So
So,
my big wager that I didn't send to you this week because I thought it was just a joke wager. I took Miami straight. I did have a $10 wager on Miami straight up, the Lions straight up, and the Jets straight up, and that was the one that saved my Sunday.
oh well, I mean, I hit on I hit on my five game show picks. I hit on all five. So
Yeah, I mean, I want to be clear. I sent John Miller what might be possibly my worst Sunday streak in the history of Sundays. I went 0 for 13 on parlays this Sunday.
wow.
But on Saturday, I had 3 very late game hits that paid me out more than I make in a month. And I withdrew everything except for just enough to have some fun with on Sunday. So very profitable. Thanks, Connecticut, for having sports betting be legal. I appreciate you. You just paid for Christmas. Now let's talk about.
Just quick funny note: if you play like if you put a buck on Gabe Davis to score 2 touchdowns and over 110 yards every single week, there's a good chance it'll pay out between 30 to 35.
Oh wow. So yeah, let's talk about. Can we skip the Thursday night game, or are you going to really make me talk about it?
I mean, let's just call it what it is. Arthur Smith continues to mismanage superstar talent on his roster, and apparently the backfield for the Carolina Panthers isn't a platoon. It is literally the Donta Foreman show until he breaks it down in 4 weeks.
So why the Cordell Patterson is clearly the best running back in Atlanta, right? Like clearly your playmaker.
I mean, he's
And if
clearly
not, he's at least not your number. Not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly
He
one of
had
the top
5.
weapons. Yeah,
Midway through the fourth quarter, when I finally turned the game off, when Mariota ran out of bounds within third, I think it was like 3rd and 9 or whatever, and he made it 4th and very long, and they punted when they were down 22-9. I turned it off, and I was just like, I'm going to bed. At that point, Cordell Patterson had 5 rushes.
yeah.
What are you
I don't.
doing? 5 rushes in that weather.
Misuse of superstars. It's just misuse of superstar talent. What Cordell Patterson is the latest name to get added to the list. It's been Kyle Pitts since week 1. It's been Drake London since week 4, and now Cordell Patterson gets put on the list. It's literally like Arthur Smith doesn't. It's literally like Arthur Smith doesn't not own. He doesn't care about winning the game one way or another. He just cares about annoying fantasy managers. Like literally, he will risk his job to make.
Is Arthur Smith like an? I do see the little head running behind me, so you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and let you keep talking.
Wait, what happened?
I see the little head running behind you, so I got nothing nice to say, so I'm just not going to keep going.
Yeah, so that's all there is to really say about it. And meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers are, yeah, they atoned. Yeah, they atoned. I don't know. Did they really atone for anything? The Carolina Panthers aren't as bad as their record implied, and the Atlanta Falcons aren't as good as their record implied. It's a very mediocre division that'll probably send Tom Brady to the playoffs again in a year that he doesn't deserve it. So,
so let's talk baseball injuries for a second, because Buffalo was got a game this week. But before we get there, I want to talk to you. No, we'll wait till we get to Buffalo. Go ahead. You can start. We'll wait till we get to Buffalo.
So let's start. We've been talking about Tom Brady a bit. Let's go to Munich. Let's go to Munich, where Geno Smith is plastered on the side of the buildings, and for some reason is a 2.5-point underdog to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So ich liebe dich, Geno Smith. Geno Smith, machen Sie so gut. For those of you that don't know, I am pretty good at German. I haven't used it in quite a few. I haven't used it in quite a few years, but I'm very excited because I did find out there's a German broadcast of this game that will be televised in the United States, and I'm gonna dabble going back and forth and see how much is still there. But yeah, give me Seattle all day long.
Yeah, Seattle plus 2.5. It's just kind of stupid. Bump it to the money. It's like it's not even like reverse the odds if you want to do it because like
Yeah, I think this is a
seriously,
great one that you can throw to the alt spread.
yep.
And you could sell him back points. Tom Brady did not look good. I don't know how your grandparents are, but when my grandparents would have to travel, it took them a couple of days to recover. I'm assuming Grandpa Tom's not going to do well. I'm assuming he's going to have bathroom trouble. So I'm just going to go Geno Smith all day long here.
uh Again, I'm not doing many props from this game because you never
I am.
know.
I am.
Oh,
I
okay,
am.
cool. Talk a little props. Yes. Anything?
The prop. Yeah. There's one that I think you got to smash all day long. Geno Smith over 1.5 touchdowns.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just concerned with it being the farthest east the game has ever been.
I
So
agree, but I think this is one where I think DK, Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, and Noah Fant get to go out there and make a statement by being the only game in town against Tom Brady, shutting up everybody that was like, wow, they got rid of Russ. They ruined their franchise. They get to go shut up everybody nationally. And, this isn't a primetime game. So, primetime games, they're great, but you lose the East Coast at the end. This is one where you probably won't have the West Coast at the start of the game because it's going to be, what is it, 6:30 for them when it starts, but you'll have all the East Coast viewers the whole time. This is a statement game, and I think this is going to be a statement win for Pete Carroll.
my only concern is if Kenneth Walker goes off for 173.
I think Kenneth Walker can go off for 170 and 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith still gets his 2 touchdowns. I
But what
do
if
think
Geno
that
Smith
Seattle,
runs in one of those touchdowns?
yeah, that could be a potential pitfall. But I'm
So
looking something here. 35-7, 35-14.
okay,
I'm looking for a big statement here.
okay.
And interestingly enough, in case you guys are wondering, the game sold out in 7 minutes. So in case you're wondering if there's a lot of hype and adrenaline and whatever, and how the fan base is going to be, 7 minutes to sell out an 80,000 seat arena. And the Bundesliga, which is the German soccer league,
Okay.
canceled when this game was announced. They moved every game off of the day and put every game that was supposed to be Sunday to Saturday. And said,
Germany wants NFL football.
yes, they said we can't compete with the NFL.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Okay.
so it's going to be an impressive game. And I just think Geno Smith is good. Number 5 ranked fantasy quarterback in most formats. In Wolf, he's actually the number 4 ranked fantasy quarterback most weeks because of his completion percentage.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know why more leagues don't reward points for completions and take away points for attempts. No, for incompletions.
So yeah, that's all I've got about this game. What do you got for the next one?
All right, moving right along, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3.5 point favorites. Feels kind of light. I get it that Cleveland has been a little Jekyll and Hyde-ish, and that Flash Garrett is back, and and that that defense has had a chance to recover a little, and that Deion Jones is another week in the system or whatnot. But at the same time, 3.5 for that offense, which seems virtually unstoppable at this point. Which, by the way, Jeff Wilson Jr. is now going to make sure Raheem Mostert doesn't get injured too. So so they just add another weapon to the offense. They add another weapon to the defense. Like Bradley Chubb is going to be playing full snaps. Like honestly, I don't see the 3.5, and I get it. The Browns are a little bit of a wild card, but it's Tyreek is when I'm going with the receiver props later on, Tyreek is definitely on the list of my receivers that's going to get played this game, like he should be almost every single week. But yeah, so
So
I have.
the reason the spread is what it is for this game is because they got exposed by Justin Fields, right?
I mean, yes, but can we just like say that Justin Fields is amazing instead of say that the Dolphins defense is bad?
We can say that Justin Fields is a great running back that sometimes throws the football.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. I didn't mean as a quarterback. Like he's a
I needed you to clarify that statement.
my bad. Like it's. I mean, you don't if you break a Michael Vick record, as a running quarterback than or a passing running back or whatever you want to call it. You're a BFT, right?
Hmm.
You're right. So it's I
I
don't
mean,
know how to what.
yeah, I'll be playing in Justin Fields this week.
Yeah. So I'm not taking it away anything away from the Dolphins defense. And the truth is the Dolphins can win by the Dolphins can win by 2 scores and Nick Chubb can still have an amazing game. Like it's not like I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to shut down Nick Chubb, but we do get the Chubb brother show off with the new team. So maybe Bradley rips one out of his brother's hand, or maybe Nick plows him over on the way to his second touchdown of the day. So, but yeah,
I,
anything else to say?
I like Miami here. I think they're fun, man, and I'm excited for this game. I think Red Zone's going to cover it a lot because I think these two teams are both going to be able to down up and down the field. Miami's defense is not good, um, but
Nick
I
Chubb
don't.
should have a day. Like we're not saying that Nick Chubb shouldn't. So
Yeah, we're not saying don't play Nick Chubb. I'm saying Jacoby Brissett is not going to be able to do what Justin Fields did because he doesn't have the mobility that he did, and I also don't see the playmaker that you need that can keep the play alive long enough as a wide receiver. Because Amari Cooper's good, but he's not Chase Claypool fast,
no.
and so I like Miami here. They scare me though. I'm going to take the over in this game, and I'll consider taking Miami, but they're starting to scare me because they're having a real hard time with these backdoor covers.
Yeah, they have, but this one's light enough to where like 3.5 feels. I mean, if they don't cover this one, then maybe I just stop doing anything but money on Dolphins. But that's yeah, you're right. It is a little scary. Moving right along, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Buffalo Bills. I don't know how we have no confirmation on Josh Allen whatsoever at this point in time, and the Vikings are underdogs.
So here's the deal, man. This is what I want to talk about. This is a UCL injury. It's not very common in football. This is a baseball injury.
Yep.
If this is bad, and I know you guys that some of you guys have looked it up and stuff like that, but those of you that haven't, like, let me put this in perspective. This is worse than an ACL. This is game changingly bad.
Yeah.
The surgery's only got a 75% success rate, so it's not even a guarantee you get to come back. A lot of guys don't. There is benefits to surgery, such as like if you are successful and you can come back, a lot of pro athletes that have good trainers get to come back, but you throw harder. So that is scary. An idea of Josh Allen being able to throw harder with better arm strength. um, but what they do, like just in very non-gruesome terms, is they have to go in, they have to take that ligament out of your elbow, and they replace it with one from your calf. And now that ligament in your calf is missing. We don't know how a running quarterback functions without that because we've never seen it before. And we know in baseball it has an effect on speed. It has a drastic effect on a hitter's speed if they have to have it. So I'm substantially concerned for Josh Allen here. I
Yeah.
think that if the Bills were smart, what you do is you do the same thing that every baseball team in the world does. As soon as you see a UCL sprain, you shut this guy down for 30 days,
Yep.
and you send him to see Dr. James Andrews down in Alabama. Dr. Andrews will shut him down for 30 days and just say, we're going to wait and see. Because if you can't heal this, it's 14 months. It's a 14-month operation.
Wow.
So you could seriously be looking at Josh Allen not being ready until the playoffs of next year.
Which suddenly makes this NFL a whole lot more wide open.
This is the not to sound callous, this is the injury that the AFC needed to open the division back up.
Yeah.
Also, from all accounts, if he gets hit, from what everybody says, I've never blown my UCL, so I don't know firsthand. If he
Yeah.
gets hit in that elbow, man, that pain's going to be excruciating.
So, and by the way, as a Jets fan, I wish Josh Allen was like this league is better with Josh Allen. Like
Oh yeah, it's the same as like a CMC or a guy or Derrick Henry. You want them to play because the league is more fun.
I want him to recover. I want it to, I want it to work out. I am not one of those Jets fans like that poorly represent us all when that are celebrating on Twitter saying we're the ones who took out Josh Allen. And, like that's we shouldn't be celebrating that. So shame on you Jet fans that are like. I don't associate myself with you, and you're not true Jet fans. Like because honestly, you don't want to beat Josh Allen because of you don't want to beat the Bills because Josh Allen isn't present. You want to beat the Bills with Josh Allen on the field. So, um, but so I will never root for a star player to get injured going in. Honestly, that go just jumping back a few seasons, the whole Rex Ryan press conference where when he was coach of the Jets, where he's like, I want the Colts to sit this person and this person and this person. That annoyed the crap out of me. And it annoyed me even more when Peyton Manning wasn't facing us. And I get it, we got to the playoffs because of that, but you don't want you want to beat those guys when you play them. You don't want to win because they didn't play. So leaving that at that. But yeah, so back to this game. So why are the Vikings the underdogs?
Because
Is it
Josh Allen plays it. If Josh Allen plays, it's going to be real hard for them to win. And if Josh
okay?
Allen, if it's a minor UCL sprain that he can play through, they win. Now, here's the thing:
Yeah.
if they have to resort to the ground game, they're not winning this football game, right? Minnesota's
See,
got no shot if they have to go to the ground.
this is
Or
what
if
I would
sorry, Buffalo's got no shot if they have to go to the ground and win.
when approaching this game. I'm going to approach this the way that you should be approaching best ball. I'm putting it down now. I am putting as low as amount. So I'm putting a buck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bumping it up to Vikings laying 6.5, and I'm playing whatever unders I can play on Buffalo yardage points. You get what I'm saying, right? And looking for a big boomer bust that like you're only down one. Now obviously I'm not telling you off this pool or whatnot. If you I obviously stall as long as possible to see if Josh Allen's going to be playing, but this is the perfect time to potentially make a killing off of a pure gamble. So I don't know.
With that said, though, I'm going to give you one piece of office pool advice here, and I never give office pool advice. That's JML. Most office pools allow you to change your picks up until kickoffs. Come on, guys, for the love of everything, place your picks before you go to bed on Saturday. Because I was listening to a guy complain passionately about Sunday, at the European games because he has to wake up early. You don't have to wake up early if you just place your pick on Saturday.
Yeah, you know what? Ian Rappert, Ian Rappaport, I'm pretty sure starts like tweeting out who's going to be available and who's not going to be available at like 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, there's no excuse. Like stay until 9:30 and see the barrage of tweets that are coming from Scheffner and Rappaport, and all those guys who are trying to beat the other ones out. So um, it's and even on the East Coast, like 12:30. Like, if you're that much of a last minute person, then 12:30 shouldn't be that big of a deal for you. So
Yeah. So here on this game, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I'm going to avoid everything because there's just too much uncertainty. If Josh Allen plays, I'm going to go with the Bills the Bills. If Josh Allen's out, I'm going Vikings. And if Josh Allen even looks hurt, I'm probably going to go Vikings because I think Harrison Smith will feast on Josh Allen that's missing just a step.
well, you can't play anything on DraftKings for either offense right now because it's if the Vikings are Josh Allen doesn't play, like even like a Justin Jefferson line gets affected because the Vikings could have this wrapped up by halfway through the third quarter and Jefferson could be sitting the fourth, and that's gonna so they have to factor that in, or it could turn into a shootout, and so the Vikings don't even have stuff, so you can't play anything else other than like game stuff at this point in time. Um,
Right.
so yeah. Moving right along. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on a game. Well, no, we had to talk about Josh Allen because
We had
that's
to. That's the biggest thing you got.
so. But again, if you're gonna do anything with that, do it now and make it extreme in favor of Minnesota and just put a little bit on it. Like, or wait until the half hour before game time. So moving right along. New Orleans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 1.5 point home underdogs. New Orleans has been a reasonably erratic team this year, with more flashes of brilliance than not. Like New Orleans, but they obviously have the huge comeback loss to they had a huge comeback loss to someone last week, right? After shutting out the Raiders week before. I thought, needless to say, New Orleans has been erratic, so it's one of those things where, um, the like this should be the TJ Watt return game, right? Like I know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's I know the IR status hasn't officially been removed today, but everywhere the reports are all good that you're reading. He's practicing, and he's projected for everything everywhere. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of curious. Like the return of TJ Watt should basically shoot a energy into that defense's arm for at least 1 week, and it's not like it's that good of an opponent that they have to embarrass.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
So it's Andy Dalton. It's literally Andy Dalton throwing passes to, I think, Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara are the survivors at this point. So and don't get me wrong, Olave and Kamara are amazing. Like I'm not trying to discredit anything, but this just feels like the type of game where Watt puts on a couple, and Highsmith puts on a couple, and Hayward puts on a couple, and three random Steelers also have a sack apiece. Before you know it, Dalton is exiting the game because he's bagged up and down by 21 points in the fourth quarter. So give me the Steelers on this one. Any thoughts as far as that goes? And yes, definitely give me a lot of Steelers for IDP props on this game too. So
No, I don't have much interest in this game. I'm gonna have it on with the red zone, but I'm probably gonna not play anything on it.
so do you think that this game will feature, for the red zone highlights? Do you think it'll feature more of the Pittsburgh defense, the Pittsburgh offense, or the New Orleans offense? It has to be the
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh defense, right?
yeah, Pittsburgh's defense, because I do think that they're going to be able to fear Ben Dalton. He's a little slow, but here's the other thing people keep forgetting: they played him every year, twice a year for 10 years. Not a guy that Mike Tomlin doesn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin knows exactly what to do with Andy Dalton, and the truth is, a lot of these guys are old enough to, the Cam Haywards. I don't know if Minka and Dalton overlapped for like a season, right? Season or two. Yeah, they had to
Yeah.
have. But most of these guys, over half the guys on this defense have played Dalton multiple times. So I'm not concerned about that one at all. So I don't know what as far as props, because the New Orleans defense is pretty decent. So I'm not saying play Kenny
John, you want
Pickett.
to hear something? Here's going to be something you hear from me for the first time this season. You haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
Take the under in this game.
There you go. There you go. There you have it, guys. He just said take the under in this game.
Yeah, take the under in this game. I'm going to take the under. I actually have determined I'm going to same game parlay this game here. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under in Dalton's quarterback yardage. I'm going to take the under in I'm going to take quite a couple unders here, and I'm going to play the defensive numbers. So for the first time all season, I'm taking an under.
Yeah, and it's very easy to hit this under. Very easy to hit this under. Even an untimely defensive touchdown isn't going to ruin this number, because that untimely defensive touchdown might bump it from 17-14 to 24-14 at the end of the game, which would still have you winning on the under. Moving on to a game where we should definitely be taking some overs. We have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are 2.5 point home favorites. And I like this line. Like, I think this is I think this is a field goal game. So if I think this is a field goal game, if I think Chicago is a slightly better team in a field goal game, I guess I have to lay the 2.5 with Chicago, but I feel much better playing it as a Chicago money line. Before we get into this game, because this is one of my featured games, do you have anything to say about who you think is winning?
Winning, no, I'm avoiding them. I think Vegas picked it perfect. They put me perfect here, and then even money line, I don't like. I don't trust either of these two teams at all.
Oh, it's not part of my parlay, but there is it's a fun game. It's a fun game to parlay.
So this game does have parlay implications for me. I am definitely parlaying it a couple times and throwing it a couple places. And every time it's going to be the over 48 and a half. Oh, yes, please.
Yep. Yeah. Uh Over 48 and a half. And I know Detroit just played I know Detroit just played a defensive struggle with the Green Bay Packers. That has nothing to do. First things first. Well, the Packers lost for Sean Gary that game, but it's he was there for a part of it. And the Packers defense is going to hurt moving forward without him, but at the same time, they had him for enough of it to where it's to where it just highlights that the Packers defense is good.
Oh yeah,
Was
no, that game was not defensive struggle, or that game was not a defense win for Detroit as much as Aaron Rodgers is not looking good.
Yes, yeah. So I 100% expect and Detroit is worse against the run than they are against the pass. And I don't know if you guys we've said enough times in this podcast, Chicago just runs the football. And now they have a even more creative way to run the football. Like it's literally a
So
three-headed monster at this point in time.
prop of the prop prop lock of the week, if I can give it to you real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, that's a cool segment title. Prop block of the week. I'm stealing it. Um, Justin Fields over 58 and a half rushing yards.
Yep. Justin Fields over 58 and a half.
David Montgomery,
100%.
David Montgomery, I think is like 55. It's like, why are neither of these guys coming closer towards the 100 number?
Yeah, Monty is 56 and a half. I don't know why either of them. I don't know why either of them are that low. Oh, by the way, did you notice that your boy Cole Kmet has been uh has started to get into the action a little too?
Yeah,
On the other side,
Professional Notre Dame is looking good because that's
yeah,
what they are at this point.
professional
They're just
Notre
professional
Dame.
Notre Dame now.
I know Amon Ra has disappointed in recent weeks, but admittedly he has been coming back a little sore from an injury, and apparently his practices have been better this week. So that's enough for me to look and say that the Amon Ra over what was it over 69 and a half is definitely a playable thing in this game. And
So I'm gonna go crazy here real quick too and throw it out there. But one thing I'm doing is I'm taking the Justin Fields over. I'm taking a Justin Fields anytime touchdown. Demont's over. Demont anytime touchdown. Taking the over in the game. And I'll probably throw like one more in there just for fun. I'm going to lay a 25 on it. It's going to, and I already know it's going to pay me out, roughly around $1,500 if it wins. So that's there's six wagers, six legs pays out 1,500. John Miller, if that wager wins, next Friday's podcast, you and me are both wearing Chicago Bears hoodies, and I'll buy one and have it sent to Ethan Shukas as well, and we'll have a special episode for him too, and
well,
there's a really
if that happens, we might need to get Graydon as a guest on the show. That
yeah, there's a cool hoodie I saw somebody at my office was wearing the other day because he's also a Notre Dame fan, big Notre Dame fan, and he's a huge Bears fan. There's some Bears hoodies that now exist that have the Notre Dame logo like blending into them. Because in case you guys don't know, there's 7 Notre Dame players that play for the Chicago Bears. It's the most of any college team on a pro team now.
is
And
that
it's like
true? I thought the Patriots had more Alabama players.
I mean, Alabama, I think might count, but Alabama is just probably most in any team in the league because they've got 50 guys everywhere. But yeah, I mean, you're trading for Chase Claypool. Why not just trade for Tommy Tremble at this point? Trade for Ian Book. Just go get all of our scraps from Notre Dame. But Kyle Hamilton's out there not doing anything at Baltimore. But Yeah, so I like Chicago here, but not enough to play it. What I do like a lot to play is the over, and I really, really like the Justin Fields 58.5. I think it's embarrassingly low.
And I think that this is one of those ones, if you have that bonus where if you put up to 10 on the parlay, it increases your odds. This is the game to do it on because you can play the Bears score over, you can play the Lions score over. You can get a lot of cheap ones and like even just looking at stuff like if you go down, if you take worse odds on the actual thing, like Chase Claypool at 24.5 could be something that could get added to it. So
So
um
this is a game for me. I know we'll stop talking about this game in 1 second, but it's just to me, this is a bad game, but it's got the most money attached to it for me.
it's a
Um,
feature game for us though. Like it's a
on
game
a
where
different book, on a different sports betting app that's not DraftKings. So we're not sponsored by DraftKings. I could just say it. On
yeah.
FanDuel, they have an ability that DraftKings does not allow, and that is you can take player props and totals and all that stuff from various different games and combine it into one wager and still call it a same game plus bet. This is one that will be a same game plus bet for me, and I'll share some of it with you later with one of the other wagers. But this game is locked into a good stake for me, just because I think that Justin Fields 60 is really low, and I want to drive that point home to everybody. So you hear me say it many times. Justin Fields 60 is low. In fact, I'm thinking Justin Fields 60 might be able to hit off the first half.
Could it could like who are we to doubt at this point in time? All the records that Lamar Jackson is going to be breaking, and that Hurts is going to be chasing are basically going to get taken over by Justin Fields in probably like 5 to 6 years. So no disrespect to Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts.
You calling a Justin Fields MVP candidacy in a couple years?
I mean, the Bears do have to win in order for that to happen. Let's wait for the Bears team as a whole to get a little bit better. You could be a
Dear
great
Wolf
player
owner,
on a bad team, right?
dear Wolf owner that owns Justin Fields, please contact me. I have a very deep team, and I will give you picks and players for Justin Fields. Thank you.
I believe that would be the lovely Mrs. Sarah.
Well, you happen to know where she lives, so I don't know. I'll actually just reach out to her. I th
Uh,
I think I have a certain tight end that plays in Kansas City that would entice her enough to make the move.
wow. Again, you need to talk to her, not me. But at the same time, who knows, right?
Yeah.
He was the person who drafted him, and she did refuse trade offers in the past for him, even when it wasn't looking as good as it is now. So, but yeah, moving right
Let's
along.
move on while I grab contract links.
Moving right along, we have the Houston Texans at the New York Giants. The Giants are favored to win by 4.5, and honestly, you could bump that up if you felt like it. Like, no, actually, no, you shouldn't bump it up because Houston has a tendency to pull off some of these stupid backdoor covers. But I think Giants at 4.5 is safe enough. I don't see the solution to stopping Saquon Barkley. There's no solution to stop Saquon Barkley on that Texans roster, right? Like they can
Nope.
tackle. Yeah, they're good at tackling. Saquon will get five. So maybe Saquon doesn't rip off a 70-yard run, but does it really matter if he's getting 6 to 7 every single play, right?
Right. Well, I'm going to say real quick, and I'm just going to rant for 1 second if you don't mind. You
Sure.
caught me too early in the day, so I'm too energetic. Um, if you're a professional athlete, stay off of ATVs. Stay off of quads. If it's your bye week, don't do stupid stuff. Don't ruin your season. Your team is 6-2. Don't hurt your. Okay, I can't. I can't because I'm going to end up swearing and we're going to end up losing our family friendly rating for this episode. So go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we and yeah, no, we won't say the name because honestly, he hasn't even been super relevant. He's just had an Iron Man streak that's getting broken this week. So
Hmm.
but yeah, no. So this game is it's a tale of two running backs, right? It's
Right.
Saquon Barkley and Damian Pierce, and Danny Dimes is obviously amazing, but we don't know who the receiver of the week is going to be. and Davis Mills is just kind of yeah, which has him slightly better than the average quarterback in that class. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I should lay off Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence for this week since they both had good wins last week, right?
Right. Yeah,
But
speaking of, if anybody wants to buy Zach Wilson or Derek Carr off me, please do so because I need to make room for another quarterback real quick.
but yeah, so I don't, I there are plenty of rushing props that I like. So Pierce isn't going to make it, but if you wanted to play the Pierce this week, I definitely don't fault you. How about you? You could see Pierce having a good game versus the Giants, right?
I
Not
can,
enough.
but I can, but I can't see a way that okay, I'm gonna sound like a Giants fan because I'm wearing the Giants shirt. I can see Pierce having a pretty good game, but I can't see a way Houston wins this game, and I can't see a way that the Giants don't cover 5.5.
Yep. Oh, it's actually 4.5 now. It changed while we were doing the show.
Woohoo! I get better. I get better odds.
Yeah, right.
I don't see it. I please talk me out of the Giants.
I'm not going to.
Okay, cool. Well,
So,
thanks. That was easy. Yeah, I just don't see it here, and it's to me,
I could
it's
I
just
could talk you
clear
I
cut.
could talk you out of the Giants hitting big plays in this game. Like, but Houston does have a really good tackling team. So I don't think that Saquon Barkley is going to rip off a 50-yard touchdown run, but it really doesn't matter.
Right,
Like I said before, it doesn't matter if he's going to get 5 or 6 every single play,
right. That's
right?
the thing. Who cares? Who
Yeah,
cares if he ripped off massive gains?
that
The
that's just
thing
going to
that's
slow down the game and and make their death that much more agonizing, right?
right. Just take your sweet time and walk down the field over and over again and make them have a slow, miserable, painful Sunday.
Play the Giants over 45 minutes of time of possession. So it feels like it's one of those. Um, it'll be painful for anyone who's not a Giants fan to watch, unless you just love agonizing running back play. Like there are some people that love it, like just watching. Oh, you like watching agonizing running back play?
Can we not call it agonizing? Can we call it chess?
Okay.
Strategic plays where you take your advantage to their weakness and you maximize it. It's tactical play. There's nothing bad about it. It's just I'm better than you here. We're not good here, and I'm going to expose that. But here's the thing: Davis, in the event that the Giants can pull out quickly enough, um, Davis Mills, Davis Mills has no shot. He's and Brandon Cooks is very
Okay, Chris
disgruntled.
Collinsworth.
Thanks. I purposely knew that I had to go there at some point this game because it's still trending. It's been like 3 weeks, but there's
Uh,
just no way. There's just nothing here for Davis Mills, and I think it's going to be bad real quick.
yeah, no, it's yeah, nothing more to say. All right,
Nope.
we got the Jacksonville
Giants are good.
Jaguars at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are fresh off of a game that they should have lost, that they ended up winning. That was far too close. The Jaguars are fresh off of a fourth quarter comeback win that they should have lost. This just feels like the Chiefs are going to reestablish the pecking order of where the Jaguars in relation to them. I'm laying the 9. I'm laying the 9.5. So, what about you?
I'm not touching it. Because I don't know if I can't tell. Are the Chiefs bad? Are the Chiefs angry? Like I don't know what the Chiefs are. Um,
Okay.
and until I can figure it out, and that's me saying like I don't like the Chiefs. Um, I did have the money line on the Texans, despite the fact that I told everybody last week take the Chiefs parlay or take the Chiefs money with the giving up the points. It's fine. I was like, I'm going with the Texans
Titans.
because
Titans.
my hate won out. Um,
Uh, it is what it is. Like but yeah, no, I do think Nicole Hardman has started to establish himself as the number one wide receiver. Well, behind Travis Kelsey. So I kind of and if I'm correct, the Hardman numbers were pretty cheap. Let's just double check this really quick to make sure I'm not going crazy. And no, the Hardman numbers aren't there yet. So, what is the injury that is holding back this game from having any rushing or receiving props?
I don't know. I'm unaware of anything. So, but that doesn't mean it's not something I'm just not aware of, you know?
Huh. Interesting. I I don't have anything. Okay, so I'm just thinking that they're taking a little while to make it. Moving right along, we have the Denver Broncos at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 2.5 point home favorites, and I don't know. I keep on believing that the Titans are not as good as their record. I keep on believing that the Broncos are better than their record. Like, I still think that Russell Wilson's washed, but I still think I don't know. It's not the same feeling as Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, to be completely honest.
Do you know who this guy Richard Sherman is? He used to be a really good guy in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of played Russell Wilson a lot of times.
yeah.
For those of you
Or
that don't know, Richard
same
Sherman has a
team. Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, Richard Sherman has a PhD.
Yep.
Very smart man. He diagnosed the Russell Wilson problem on ESPN this week, and he said that Hackett was trying to make Russell Wilson be a different quarterback. But he said over the last 3 weeks, you can see that they're starting to go to a Russell Wilson centric playbook, and you're starting to see the difference for the Broncos. And so
Yeah.
that's why I have to avoid this type of game because I need to wait to see when they let Russ be Russ, and whenever they let Russ be Russ, I'm substantially concerned that they're going to just open up shop real quick.
So, um, so I guess even that aside, because that is the thing that has been lingering in my head too. It just feels like I guess Richard Sherman said it perfect, and I want to thank him for coming to that conclusion. Um, so because I didn't come to that conclusion my own, but it makes sense. Here,
Yeah, I
give me
missed
about
it. I
15
needed
minutes.
Richard Sherman to get there for me. I actually needed Richard Sherman to put it together for me as to what was happening. But
But I do know this though. Draymond Jones is quickly turning into the top autumn. Autumn, please. Please. Draymond Jones is quickly turning into the top autumn, please. Is quickly turning into the top
Ooh, cool house she got.
thank you.
I cannot get anything out here. Autumn, could you give me like a few minutes, please? Okay. Did mommy call you? I think I heard mommy call you. No. There we go. Mommy did just call you. There we go. She actually really did just call you. So, okay. But yeah, Draymond Jones.
Cool
Autumn,
Best part of the
mommy called
podcast.
you. Please go to mommy.
picture.
Autumn, please go to mommy. Draymond Jones is quickly turning into the premier run-stopping defensive tackle in football. And I know you just don't stop Derrick Henry, but at the same time, a guy like Draymond Jones can help to slow Derrick Henry down. Oh my goodness, Autumn, please stop. I am trying to get through this. Please. Uh, this moment has been brought to you by Silly Antics.
Yeah,
Okay.
this
So my point was the Broncos defense has shown that it's an elite defense, and frankly, the Titans quarterback situation, it doesn't really matter if it's Malik Willis or Ryan Tannehill starting this game. They're going to get frustrated. Whatever the top passing option is on the Titans is going to get the Patrick Surtain shadow, and and I get it. Traylon Burks is back, and you know what? I think the rookie could still be good, but at the same time, because we know that the Broncos defense is what it is, I think it's reasonable to think that they could shut down not saying that Henry goes for like 50 yards for the record. I'm saying Henry's effectiveness could be limited to 90 yards and a touchdown, right? Like Henry could still have a good game and get shut down for the purposes of what we're talking about. And so I'm just gonna say it. Give me the Broncos plus 2.5 because I don't have a reason to believe in the Titans versus the Broncos D.
Okay.
And I'm sure that this is one of those ones, and I'm probably going to double down with that with a show pick too, because sometimes your gut is just telling you something, and Richard Sherman just made sense of what my gut was telling me. So,
Mm.
um,
I'll allow it. I'm not gonna say it's terrible.
so I don't know who is. I'm sure Henry is still the person in this game who gets the most yards from scrimmage. Um, I ain't touching a prop on anyone else. And Henry's not making my running back parlay because there's just really good running back matchups this week. It feels like they're also including Justin Fields in that category. Um, move along.
Move on.
We have the Indianapolis Colts at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 4.5 point favorites. One team is, um, man, what a disappointing season for both teams.
Yeah.
Like we last week we saw that you know um Detroit couldn't stop the run, they couldn't stop the pass, the Chargers can't stop the run, the Raiders can't stop the pass, so on and so forth. We saw the an offense actually be bad enough in Green Bay to break that statement. So we found out that in the chain of absolutes or whatever whatnot, that Green Bay's offense is the exception to the Lions not being able to stop the pass. Is there a chance that this Colts passing game is the exception to the Raiders not being able to stop the pass?
So I'm gonna say there's a chance, but I'm also gonna say that I'm really rooting for the Colts here because I want Jeff Saturday to do well.
Okay, so and I get it. Like I feel like Saturday's probably gonna pick the right quarterback. I don't think we have confirmation on the quarterback yet.
We do.
I'm
It's Sam Ellinger.
It
It's
is
Sam
Sam
Ellinger.
Ellinger. Okay,
Yep.
okay, so I mean, I guess this is the week to find out if Sam Ellinger can be the latest quarterback to expose a really bad Vegas secondary, which, by the way, Jonathan Abrams got cut this week.
Yeah,
So,
here's the other thing, though. I don't want you to forget this. Jonathan Taylor plays on this team. Jeff Saturday's position was a center. What do offensive linemen really like to do? They really, really like to run the football because it means they get to hit somebody in the mouth. I'm thinking Sam Ellinger may go the Zach Wilson route here where you see him throw 12 to 15 passes and a win. Just because and also Deion Jackson, that's his name, right? Deion Jackson or
yeah,
whatever.
Deion Jackson.
He's not looking terrible. He's looking sufficient as a good, solid backup.
I mean, he's looking terrible this week. He's pretty banged up. He missed the last two practices.
So I think he's gonna. I think what I read was that he's gonna be okay to play though as a backup
Okay.
to Taylor, and I think you may just see them running and then putting the ball in Pittman's hands and those nice little wide receiver screens or those bubble passes and end arounds. I'm really excited about what Jeff Saturday might do here.
You know what?
In
You sold me.
all actuality, what's going to probably happen, and if we're being honest, it's most likely is they're not going to do anything, and it's going to be bad, and we're all going to be like, "Oh, why did we watch that?"
You know what though? I don't know. I feel like you sold me on that one because I was going back and forth, and the truth is like
And if we're being honest, the Raiders are bad. The Raiders are not good.
yeah, the Raiders are really bad at defending the pass. There's a reason why they're the worst in the league at it, and it's kind of like, do I think that the Sam Ellinger, the current wash version of Rodgers, Do I think there is a potential that Sam Ellinger is better than the current wash version of Rodgers, considering that he has Michael Pittman and everything? I can't say that he's worse. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I believe the Raiders' pass defense is worse than the Lions' pass defense. The Lions just have a bad defense overall because they're pass and rush, which is why they were giving up 32 points a game until that Packers one. Wow, it's really easy to hate on the Packers the week after.
It's not, but let's be honest, it's not the week after. It's the fourth week after in a row.
I'm just saying it didn't happen versus a defense as bad as the Lions until this past week.
Right.
And also with Aaron Jones, Romeo Dobbs done for a considerable amount of time, and Rashawn Gary done for the season. It's just kind of it's like the icing, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top all came the same week. So wishing those three well in their recoveries, because NFL is better with at least two of them. And then there's Dobbs.
But Rodgers is, man, this is injuries aside.
Yeah,
this is real freaking fun because Rodgers is not having a good year.
Okay, so moving, but we're on this Colts Raiders games, and honestly, it's you could see this. You could see this turning into a bit of a parlay, but I want a little more information going into it, so I'm not willing to put that parlay today. But you could see performances. I want to see Jonathan Taylor's final, like how quickly they take him off the questionable. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
And Josh Jacobs should do well this game, but again, it's not as much of a smash as it was last week because very quietly this Colts defense has started to return to form a little. So if it ever completely finds itself one week, it's going to be rough for the opposing running back that week. I'm not saying that's going to be this week. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored to win by 1.5. We still don't. Stafford is still in concussion protocol, to my knowledge. I'm doing a quick double check on that.
He is.
He is still in
concussion
protocol.
I checked Kelly Stafford's Instagram this morning.
Okay. Kyler Murray is still.
By the way, in case you don't know, the best way to get your Rams information is not through any NFL source. It's through Kelly Stafford.
Kelly Stafford
she had
Instagram.
And her podcast, really good. So if you haven't been listening to her podcast, go ahead and find her on Instagram and listen to her podcast because she's really smart and actually knows the NFL really well. And she happens to be married to an NFL player that from time to time shows up on our podcast.
Nice. Very nice. Too bad it can't help the Rams. The only thing that can help the Rams is the fact that they're playing the Cardinals. And we've seen that Kyler Murray has been limited this week also. I don't think we have I think he's supposed to be playing, but we don't have an official that he will be playing yet because of the hamstring injury. Let me just double check to see if there is anything as far as that goes yet. And no, we don't have any final word on Kyler Murray yet. Their backup quarterback, I believe, it's Colt McCoy, right? Let's double check this real quick. So,
right. It's Colt.
Yeah, so I could still see D Hop having a big game with Colt McCoy in either way. But as far as that goes, and Zach Ertz has very quietly put up very strong numbers this season. But beyond that, I'm not sure. Yes, and then there's Cooper Kupp, who is probably quarterback proof. So, but besides the big receiver, either way, there's very little comfort in this game, right?
Yeah, I'm not liking anything here. And I know that's a cop out, and people are going to call me out on that. Whatever, do what you want.
So no D Hop or Kupp, no D Hop or Kupp either.
I don't think there's anything playable here for me because I don't know enough information about who's actually taking the field for these teams. And with such little information, I'm going to go ahead and just stay clear of all of it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, how about a game that we're definitely not going to be avoiding?
Give it to me.
Oh, by the way, I guess I would take the LA Rams over the Arizona Cardinals because McVay's a good coach and Kingsbury is a bad one. Like, is there like right? When it comes
Very
down to it, so let's just so that's my tiebreaker for this one.
I mean, you're not wrong. Kingsbury is not doing well, and yeah, there you go.
Moving right along, we have the Dallas Cowboys, 4.5 point road favorites on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Probably should be more.
No. I want to say this. Should be a lot more. Should be a lot more. They've given me absolutely no reason to think that it shouldn't be 7.5 to 10.5.
So,
Two scores at least. You're saying this is a one-score game.
A few fun things to consider here. When Rashawn Gary wasn't on the field, they blitzed 60% more and were 40% less efficient than when he was on the field for their passing defense. I think those are the right numbers. It's on my Twitter. So
Rashawn Gary's not on the field, and your team's not very good.
Yeah, so if Rashawn Gary's not on the field, the defense suddenly goes from being a really good defense to a pretty bad defense. So, um, yeah, so and now you have to stop. Dak is reasonably back at this point, and also Tony Pollard had his big game, and Zeke is back healthy at this point. Uh, Honestly, this is a very one-sided parlay, but this is a parlay for me. Um, oh, you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I'm going to say something controversial.
Yeah,
I'm out on Dak.
you're out on Dak.
I'm out on Dak. He's not showing me anything. Not for the money he's making. I mean, I think okay. Clarification time. Dak is good. Dak is not worth the money he's making, man. He's making way too much money to be performing to the level that he is.
But he's over 235 yards passing this week.
Yeah, but 235 is an average number.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, we're not okay. So football perspective for a moment. Yeah, I honestly, what we saw Cooper Rush do with this team does kind of show how good the Cowboys are with or without um uh with whoever's at the helm. So but at the same time it's one of those things where it's I don't know, I could see the Dak take, but at the same time I'm still playing it this week. So um to go with that, as far as the rushing props go, we're pulling up my rushes. I guess we don't have any final confirmation on Zeke yet, but whatever the Pollard number is, I'm going to be going over on the Pollard number. I'm going to be going over on the 235 Dak passing number. And I'm also going to be going over on CD Lamb's 64 and a half on the yards. And once again, I'm going to be adding the Tony Pollard anytime touchdown to what I'm doing this week because I like playing Tony Pollard anytime touchdown.
Okay.
So
I'm just going Cowboys.
Yeah, and I'll probably
And this game will make my wife very excited because in case I haven't said it on the podcast, which I'm not sure if I have, my wife's two favorite things in the world are rooting against Aaron Rodgers, three favorite things. rooting against Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. So I get to watch her be happy because I get to watch at least two of them lose. I don't remember what Jacksonville's doing this weekend.
But your wife has to. Your wife has to hate the Dallas Cowboys.
No,
As a San Francisco 49er fan, don't you have to hate the Cowboys?
not as much as she hates the people of Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, and Tom Brady.
Okay. Okay. Interesting enough. So I'm about to say, I feel like a 49ers fan would just want this game to like end in multiple injuries and a 0-0 tie. So
So what's really nice about my wife and why I actually like watching football with her, she's similar to me in that there's no such thing as an injury that makes her feel happy.
oh, fair enough.
Um,
Fair enough.
even if it's the team that you hate the most, best player, you don't want to see a guy get hurt because at the end of the day, that's a human being, and you're a human, they're a human, and they're just
Yeah.
somebody out there doing their job.
Yep.
So let's
All
move
right.
on though. We still
To the
got
San Francisco 49ers, who are playing the Los Angeles Chargers. The 49ers are 7-point home favorites. And I'll be a little bit honest. I know that the 49ers are a revitalized team with Christian McCaffrey, but I don't love dropping number one, I don't love the even number. I like it less when it's 3 or 7. And I'm the way the narrative goes with the 49ers, they don't always cover when they should, and then they blow out teams when you start to go against them. So I feel whatever I say is going to be wrong.
I think the 49ers are still in that position where they're going to be able to win this football game, but they still need to find their identity with CMC.
Yep. It'll
They're
be
still going to
interesting
have
to see how Debo factors in with CMC now.
And I mean, let's be real. Obviously, yes, people are like, they've been practicing for 2 weeks with them. Yeah, but you're practicing against your own defense. Yeah,
Which, to be
you're not
fair, the
practicing.
49ers defense is definitely better than the Chargers defense. So
Right, and you're also scripting every situation there. Nothing is catching you seat of your pants. You got to make a quick decision. What do we do right now? And I don't know where the 49ers are yet. I don't know if they know where they are yet. That down by 4 with or up by 2. One of those situations that you have to game plan perfectly for. I don't know if they know. Do they want the ball in Debo's hands or CMC's hands?
well, you know what? To be completely honest, I think that as far as I'm concerned, I think the CMC rushing total at 74.5 could be hit even if they give the ball to Debo half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I think
I'm still
I think
in
the
on.
best thing is this means you don't need Jimmy G. So if you are a Jimmy G fantasy owner, why?
You want to know why? In a year where quarterback play has just been bad in fantasy, if you started Jimmy G every week since he took the job over, you'd actually be doing better than people who were starting Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady during that time.
Right, but if you're also starting Aaron Rodgers, I mean, Aaron Rodgers maybe not so much. Brady just looked old. But yeah, I think 49ers here, though. I like it, but I also don't love going against Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, potentially Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer. I think there's too much here.
Oh, I mean, I have no
I
problem
mean,
saying 49er money line, but it's the 7 bothers
oh,
me.
me neither, because Brandon Stanley will lose the game.
Yeah.
But I could also see Brandon Stanley losing the game by by saying, "Oh, we can tie the game. Let's go for 2 and lose," or doing something
The other
stupid.
thing too is if there's a
And
linebacker core that could hold back Austin Eckler from a big game, this is the linebacker core that could do it. So we could very easily, I think I could very easily see this game becoming a 49ers blowout, but I could also be at something that comes down to the final minutes too. So I guess really when it comes down to it, I want the 49ers to win this game in blowout fashion. So I'm going to take the Chargers +7.
so I like the 7 here and the reason I like the 7 is because if you're going to have me pick something and you've dictated that we do pick something, for these
No, I
games?
didn't dictate. I didn't dictate that you have to pick it. I said that I would be picking it.
No, you said you want us to make a pick for each game.
Yeah,
Not a show pick, but a pick.
yeah,
And what I'll do here is, when I see something like this that I'm not necessarily so comfortable with, I'm going to go with the Chargers with the 7, because it means if we get a close game, the Chargers can cover it. But also, if it's a touchdown game, I get to push and get my money back. Whereas with the 49ers, if they win by 7, you're breaking, you're pushing, and then so you lost because
yeah.
you were expecting that win. So
Yep,
give me the Chargers.
yep. But I do think it's the right one to play. To go money line on. So, and with uh, with that said, it also is a game where you could put together a nice little parlay. Because we don't know what Debo and McCaffrey are going to look like together, the Debo number receiving is very low at 55.5. The McCaffrey number receiving at 36.5 is very low. You could easily stack the two of them. And, honestly, we don't have a receiving total for Eckler yet because we don't know who's available from the Chargers. But I can guarantee you the receiving number for if someone's playing, Eckler's number is going to be too low. And if no one's playing but Eckler's going to have the production to beat his high number anyway. So I'm not sure if I trust the 42.5. Like, I believe in the 49ers run defense. So I'm not sure I trust the Eckler 42.5 rushing. And, to be fair, if Debo is featured a little more in running back, that 74.5 is a little high for CMC, but I feel comfortable playing it. So I'd be playing both CMC numbers. I'd be playing the Debo and the Eckler receiving totals any way you look at it. And I guess adding Justin Herbert into this equation would depend on who else is available. Does that make sense?
It
So,
does.
um, yeah. So, but very easy to parlay. And if you notice, I didn't say George Kittle, and not trying to disrespect George Kittle, but CMC CMC getting added to this offense might as well have been rest in peace George Kittle. Like, or at least until that offensive line is completely, taken care of. I do like Ayuk still in this offense, but at 55.5, it's a number that it's a little too much of a little too close for me. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, so I don't like Ayuk as much anymore. I actually just made a big move in a different fantasy league where I'm hanging on to a playoff slot. Um, I'm trading my first and third overall to get Justin Jefferson with 3 years remaining, because I don't trust Brandon Ayuk as my third wide receiver anymore. So yeah,
Okay.
let's put that in perspective. Justin Jefferson is my wide receiver 2, and Devontae Adams is my wide receiver 3. So yeah, thanks for my title, guys.
Who's so which one do you have? Do you have Tyreek or do you have Cup?
I have Tyreek
Okay. Okay.
and
I
CMC.
would make the argument because I was gonna about to make the argument. I was like, I don't think you should be so quick to designate Jefferson the two if it's a Cooper Cup that you're putting him under.
No, it's Tyreek Jefferson. Yeah, Tyreek Jefferson, Adams, Tua, and CMC on that team. With Njoku as my tight end, who I picked up off the waiver wire after week 2.
Nice. Very nice. I'm loving it. Okay, so yeah, that's my 49er Charger parlay. And then we go to the why do I not see a Sunday night football game? Oh no, that was a Sunday night football game. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those games where you could potentially, I don't know. Again,
That's one of
could
those
be a
games where
close game.
college basketball. It could be a close game where you could end up watching college basketball.
Yeah. And then the Monday night football game, we have the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Really the only thing worth talking about with the Commanders this week is all that other crap that's going on. And honestly, I don't feel like talking about it because I don't want to end the show on that note. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely, and I agree with that. There's some here though. I mean, there's some stuff here. Antonio Gibson's resurgence isn't bad.
Yeah.
Scary Terry is very scary again.
Yeah, but
Taylor Heineke,
how scary can you be against that Eagles defense?
we'll find out. And then we have Taylor Heineke, who borderline looks like he might be okay.
Now, I will say this: this could be the trap game. You're
This could be
eight.
the loss.
Yeah, you're 8-0. You're facing a division rival who isn't who you're definitely not going to give it like. And I get it. Everyone respects everyone, and so on and so forth. And they're all professionals and everything. But I don't think the Eagles players have as much respect for the Washington Commanders as a team, as an opponent, as they would for the New York Giants or the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
So this could be. I'm saying all this to say I'm breaking my rule because I'd still expect Washington to lose this game, and we all know that the Eagles were tied with the Texans at halftime in their last game, and then they still found a way to blow them out, but not cover. I think that if Washington doesn't, this is definitely a trap. And if Washington doesn't win, they're gonna put the fear of God back into the Eagles.
Yeah, I think this is a game. This might be a wake up call game. I don't want it to be because we got the Giants around the corner in 2 weeks with Philly. So I want them skating and riding high, thinking they're untouchable going into that game. But also I want them to, with the Giants being able to have a win, I'd really like to get a win closer to the Eagles here, and I think that
Yeah,
Washington might be able to help us out because
yeah. You definitely don't want this. You definitely don't want the Eagles to lose the next 2 weeks and have the get right game against the Giants.
right, because
Uh,
where I do think you're absolutely 100% without a doubt right. This could be a trap game for Philly,
yep.
because there's no respect here. Also, I think this is a game where I don't want to put too much stock in everything that's going on in Washington, and we don't want to talk about it too much.
Yeah.
These guys are professionals. These guys are professionals. They have to be getting mad and cranky and frustrated. And to what level does that mean they just gave up? We don't know. They could very well have given up, but
But
it also
why
could
they're not giving up? Chase Young was practicing this week.
it could also be a game where they say, "Hey, let's go take out all that frustration on Philly."
And the truth is, we like going into last year's, well, we were talking about that Washington defense and especially that front four, and they let us down. Like that Washington front four let us down, and kind of made us look a little foolish talking about it. But the truth is, Darren Payne has been having huge weeks. Jonathan Allen has been having huge weeks. Montez Sweat has looked like he's a Chase Young away from getting to huge. You get what I'm saying? Like they are slowly just biding their time, getting better, and waiting for Chase Young to come back. And I get it; he's not going to be Chase Young week one, but he's going to command a little more respect than the guys who've been filling in for Chase Young. I think at any given week when the return is complete, and I don't know if Young is confirmed for this week yet. Yeah, you say something about that while I'm confirming Chase Young.
So my thing is Miles Sanders. I'm getting a little concerned as a Miles Sanders owner that maybe I got a little too hyped and I got a little too giddy about what he was going to be looking like because now I'm starting to have a lot of second thoughts as to what I was getting here. And not regarding this game, but in case anybody wanted follow up, if you're going to get really curious and you're like, I really want to know what happens with that Travis Kelce for Justin Fields deal that he threw out to Sarah. It
Okay.
was officially rejected.
Oh wow.
And the lovely Mrs. Miller has chosen to go Justin Fields over Travis Kelce.
Wow.
So secretly, I'm happy because now it means I don't have to figure out what to do with Geno Smith. But yeah, I think Miles Sanders here they've got to figure out what to do with him.
Justin Fields truthers are definitely they're not going to trade away Justin Fields after last week.
I do have to say though, I'm not sure what Miles Sanders looks like. I'm very concerned for his long-term future. He looks good some weeks. Some weeks he looks Pro Bowl caliber. Other weeks he looks very mundane. And then there are the weeks where Philly looks like they forgot they even have him. And those are the weeks that are the most concerning to me, because it does look like sometimes Philly is just like, oh crap, we've only given, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? He had 7 rushes going into the fourth quarter. And Philly was like, they were up good. And it was finally a 62-yard touchdown that he broke that made him relevant. But he's consistently around that 12-point number right now. Philly forgot about him.
Philly's in a spot where they have too many mouths to feed, because this is wonderful for the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl chances, but at the same time for fantasy purposes, because even the can't miss AJ Brown has weeks where he's playing second fiddle to Devonta Smith. So the only one who's really can't miss on that defense, on that offense, is Jalen Hurts, and on that defense is probably TJ Edwards, because it feels like the Eagles' defensive line has a new superstar every single week, which is kind of the truth.
I'm asking you right now, John. Philly's Super Bowl chances, or let's say NFC title, because Super Bowl is too much of a wild card, especially with Josh Allen's and potential injury.
Yeah.
NFC Championship looks pretty. Where would you put the odds? Let's not say odds. Let's say percentages. What percentage would you give them of winning the NFC?
It's really hard to lay that down when we don't know if Hurts is actually a winner or not yet. But let's just assume that Hurts is not Dak. Let's also assume that he's not Brady. Okay, so let's just assume that he's somewhere in between. So let's say that Hurts is as much of a winner as Matthew Stafford was going into the playoffs last year.
Okay,
does that make sense? So someone who is a little more unproven going in. The only 2 teams I'm afraid of facing in the playoffs are the 2 in my division that know me the best.
Okay.
The Giants and the Cowboys. I'm not afraid of the 49ers. I'm not afraid of the Seahawks. I'm not afraid of the Vikings. I'm not afraid of whoever emerges from that cesspool of the South.
Yeah, so I'm putting it at 20. I think there's 6 teams that have real shots, and of those 6 teams, Philly's got the highest probability for me.
Okay. You're not counting the Southern team, right?
No.
Oh, you don't think that Tampa Bay could pull off a run if?
I think Tampa Bay is going to be beatable by whoever the teams that are in the playoffs are going to be too good. Tampa Bay could definitely make it there, and they could definitely win week 1, their first week. But once you start getting into that, the divisional round, and then the end of, the NFC conference game, those teams are going to be too much for Brady to have to overpower.
Oh, Chase Young has been officially moved off of PUP to listed as out for this week, but he's also projected points. The report's saying that his progress is looking like it's coming along, so on and so forth. So this is one of those things where I'd be probably shocked to see Chase Young playing, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him in uniform. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep. Out of street clothes and back into a uniform.
Yep. Which might just be the injection in the arm that the Commanders need to pull off a freakish upset. Right?
Right. I mean, it may return them back their passports to success.
Yeah. Well, let's not go too far. But I mean, I still think the Eagles are and I'm not trying to disrespect like I'm not trying. Like I know that the Vikings fans and Seahawks fans are and even Cowboys fans probably well, no Cowboys fans know that they deserve the disrespect because Dak doesn't win the playoffs. I'm not trying to disrespect Seattle Vikings, so on and so forth. I'm just trying to point out that there is no more complete team on paper in the NFL than the Philadelphia Eagles. The only advantage that the Buffalo Bills have over them is a guy who is transcendent. I wouldn't say that the Eagles have the transcendent guy. You get what I'm saying, right?
I absolutely get it. Yeah.
And oddly enough, I kind of feel like the Giants and the Cowboys both have their own version of transcendent guys. And the only reason why I would say that they are the most likely teams to beat them is because of the familiarity and the grudge and the something that you can't fabricate if you're Minnesota, San Francisco, or Seattle. I don't know. That's just me.
So yeah, let's move on to show picks.
All right, moving on to show picks. Moving on to show picks. Okay, so my just going through my quick receiver parlay real quick this week. I will be grouping Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Deon, uh, DeAndre Hopkins, and Cooper Kupp together. For my rushing parlay, I will be pairing Nick Chubb, Justin Fields, David Montgomery. Yes, I am double dipping in the Chicago backfield. Saquon as the four there. I will be doing a three-part double dip at quarterback with Tua, Dak, and Cousins on the overs. Anytime touchdown scorers. I am going to be playing Justin Jefferson and Tony Pollard like I do almost every single week, and I'm throwing Nick Chubb back into the equation for that this week too. So for a little bit of an IDP parlay, give me some give me some Micah Parsons. Then I'm gonna actually make this into the into the show pick, adding it on. But give me some Micah Parsons. Excuse me. A Micah Parsons anytime sack, and then going back to the Steelers. I'm playing I'm playing the full trifecta. I think Highsmith, Watt, and Hayward all collect sacks this week.
So
and I know that's
I only have three parlays I'm willing to share on the podcast right now because that's all I've really picked so far for parlay bets, for props anyway.
Oh, I'm also playing those San Francisco and Chicago parlays that I mentioned earlier.
One's really fun for me. $5 here, $5. So that's John and I are different. I've already said that $20 is around $25 is around where I normally am. He said he's around $1 to $5, sometimes up to 10. But here's my $5 parlay bet for you for the week. It's huge payouts. It depends on what site you're going to use. Give me the Dallas Cowboy defense special teams touchdown. Yep, there you go. And sorry about that. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh no. I lost my train of thought.
Cowboys defense was touchdown.
Yep. Sorry, Cowboys defense a touchdown. And then go ahead and give me the Pittsburgh defense there it is. It came back. Give me the Pittsburgh defense a touchdown. So
okay,
there's my two.
So since we're, I guess since that transitions well into the show picks, I'm going to be my IDP pick for this week is going to be the Parsons sack, and I will be playing a team on a defensive touchdown too, but it will not be either of the two teams that you said. Give me the Washington Commanders defensive touchdown on Monday night.
Are we doing show picks yet, or are we just doing our fun picks still?
Oh, these are not your. Okay, my bad.
That's not my show pick.
Okay, my bad. I
got to get my win percentage up a little higher on show picks.
Okay.
But yeah, that's so I'm ready for show picks. So you can go ahead.
All right,
Give me your show pick.
oh, let us start from the top then. I'm looking through all this really quick, and yeah, no, that Dallas Cowboys game, it's very easy to lay the 4.5 with the Dallas Cowboys. So 100%, we're gonna lay that 4.5. I'm not even thinking twice about it. Looking through, and a lot more underdogs I liked than favorites, but yeah, let's do a get right statement with yeah, let's go to do the get right statement. Lay the 9.5 with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee
Mhm.
Titans, and
Nope.
eh,
Kansas City Chiefs are not playing the Titans.
my bad, they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City Chiefs lay the 9.5 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm gonna dog the rest of my way. So I'll throw it over to you for your favorites.
My favorites, I have three. The New York Giants plus or minus the 5.5.
I like it. I like it. I saved that one
I
for you though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Then I'm going Miami minus the 3.5. This is the last time, Miami. You get backdoored again, and I'm done. And then obviously the Cowboys minus the 4.5 is it's got to be a virtual lock.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is to me. This game is your. No, I'm saving my analogy for later. Go ahead.
All right. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1.5 point dogs. I just love it, to be completely honest. Give me the Seattle Seahawks. I'm gonna take the gimme here because I feel I'm gonna get very adventurous with the final one, and 100% give me the Washington Commanders plus 11 and plus 10.5 on Monday Night Football. I'm gonna make it to where I can't lose on a push.
So wait, hold on. What's your super pick?
Oh, my super pick, I'm going to be saving for props.
Oh, okay, okay. I like it. So for my for my I'm going Chargers minus or Chargers plus the 7. Uh, don't love it, but I think that I don't really. I'm in a different boat than you. I don't really like the underdogs that much this week. And then for
Okay.
my for my pick, this one is the analogy I was going with. You remember back when you were in high school and you had to put a lock on your locker?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that lock number was or what that combination was? Because I never remembered it. I threw the lock on there because they told me to at the beginning of the year, and then I couldn't get it off for the rest of the year. And then we had to call the janitor every year, and I had to pay like the $5 to have him cut my locker at the end of every school year so I can get the crap out. This is the same thing for me. This is that lock, that level of a lock. It's super secure. So I'm gonna make this my super lock, and I'm gonna flip the Seattle from plus 2.5. I'll give up the 1.5, and I'm taking Seattle.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. So I'll jump to my super pick next. And my super pick is going to be give me TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Alex Highsmith all getting a sack. I will take it.
If you get that right, I'm giving you 3 picks or 4 picks. You get no. It's a 3-leg parlay. You get that right, I'll give you 5 correct picks for that.
I'll take it.
It's a 3-leg parlay, so you got to factor that in. So yeah, I'm giving you 5 if you get that one right. Put it in the books.
And I'll take that as the plus, and I'll also just flat out take the L if Watt doesn't play. I am that certain that Watt's going to be playing.
Okay.
And then I will still be playing the Commanders' defensive touchdown. So
Okay.
there's my IDPs in. I'll give you a chance to do some touchdown props.
My touchdowns are Nick Chubb and Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson Jr. looks really good. Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. So I like to have one safe touchdown player. Nick Chubb's gonna get it. Hey, how about that Joe Mixon 5 touchdown game? We didn't even bring that up yet.
I mean, a lot of people have talked about it. Joe Mixon is really good at football, and more
So
importantly,
if Ethan Lynn makes it this far in the podcast, which I don't know if he will because of the time constraints for his weekend, way to have 42.5 points from Joe Mixon and still lose, you dummy.
he lost with Mixon.
He lost with Joe Mixon.
Oh Oh, that
Yeah,
is
giant.
epic.
Yep, you giant dummy head. Um,
Who
so
did he
yeah, those
lose
are my
to?
touchdown picks.
Who did he lose to? Oh, is it the terrible? Is it Zach the terrible?
Yeah, yeah.
We love
So
you, Zach, but you know you are the evil overlord. Oh wait, I don't know if that.
so here's my prop picks this week because I'll jump in and then I'll let you wrap up the show with yours and then just do the
Okay,
closeout.
sounds good.
Daniel Jones over 190 passing.
Okay,
The absolute lock that I'll stake my big pinky or I'll stake my right pinky toe on is Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing. We made a big deal out of it earlier. I've made that
well,
case.
we are double
Um,
dipping there. It's
Sam,
okay.
give the Geno Smith over 1.5 touchdowns. I also want that. And then the really aggressive one that I really hate, but I kind of just want to see it for the giggles.
I played
Give me,
Washington Commander defense touchdown versus the Philadelphia Eagles, so you're allowed to play something for giggles.
give me Sam Ellinger over 189.
It's a great pick, honestly. The Raiders are that bad.
They are that bad. That's the thing. And Michael Pittman Jr. is that good.
Michael Pittman Jr. might be able to have that total if things go right. So, all right. So, adding to my stuff, I will also be playing the Tony Pollard touchdown, and then I will be playing. I'm double dipping with that Chicago backfield, and I'll be playing both Fields and Monty over their numbers of 58.5 and 56.5. And yeah, I know I centralized my picks around certain games as opposed to diversified them, but honestly, I think Detroit's going to get brought back down to earth very quickly from stopping the Packers, and it's kind of like we're going to run for 300 yards on you this game, like. Maybe not 300, but I think everyone could picture Chicago running for 250, right?
Yes. Chicago. There's a lot that you can play in that game. There's a whole lot. So enjoy it, have fun. Red Zone's gonna blow it up. Yeah, go ahead. Let's wrap this up.
All right. So once again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the J-Mill for Real experience. And oh no, we're not using that because somebody else. There's a podcast that uses the word experience. The J-Mill for Real family. We'll use the family word there. And just thank you for being a part of it. Remember to follow on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and we still have the picks contest. No, the picks contest is over. Ethan won it. We declared that last week, but yeah, so remember to tune in. The picks do get posted on Facebook. Obviously, we're on the YouTube and Twitter. In addition to it, other social media will be caught up at some point in time. But really, I'm only managing 3 accounts right now.
Oh, and sorry, I have an announcement. I want to make it real quick. Sorry.
Okay. Yes.
J-Mill for Real Communities, first ever fantasy football playoff league. It will be launching this season. I will be commissioning in that one. John Miller will not be because he's going to be enjoying the idea of playing in a fantasy league without having to commission. So yes, if you will be posting those details up very shortly, you're welcome. We'll be posting that up very shortly. The rules are pretty simple, and you're going to love it, guys. It's going to be very fun.
Awesome, 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 possum. And there is further news coming from that at some point in time, coming from another channel at some point in time too. But I'll let you update me more on that in the future. So remember, like, subscribe, follow, comment, retweet, so on and so forth. Just interact with it. Give us that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple, Google. So we just appreciate everything that all of you have done and continue to enjoy the content. A quick plug for the IDP Awareness newsletter. If you haven't signed up for it yet, definitely sign up. The link is in my Twitter bio. The link is in my YouTube bio. So that releases on Wednesdays. So and
No worry. If I have Gmail, what do I have to do in order to make sure that I'm getting that every week?
Oh, you do it for some reason it puts it in your promotions folder. It doesn't put it in spam, but it puts it in your promotions folder as opposed to the main folder. So definitely check promotions because I guess
But
MailChimp
if
is all
yeah.
promotional.
However, if when you open that email, if you go up into those little three dots on the right hand side, we all know what settings are at this point in our lives. Go up to those
Yes.
three little dots, say this is not promotional, send to inbox. Once you click send to inbox the first time, it will make sure that it always sends it to your inbox and does not send it to promotions anymore.
And I share everything that I put into my process when I'm going over top IDPs of the week. I don't leave anything out. Granted, I don't release it on Tuesday before the waiver wire clears, but but I'll give it to you a day after I have a chance to make my waiver claims. So and the only reason why it is that way right now is because like 70% of the people who subscribe to it are people I play in leagues with right now. So um but yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the Gamer for Real community. And remember, if you struggle with gambling addiction, seek out help, especially this time of year. Like we're getting into the holiday season, and you don't want you don't want to ruin the holidays for yourself, your family, or your loved ones as a result of feeding money to something that is just consuming you completely and destroying you. So just remember that it is a hobby. Do not let it become a vice. Seek out help if you need the help. Remember to track your bets. Remember to know to not put out any more money uh, than you can afford. And just if it's something that you don't have a clear direction on, if you don't, if you don't feel comfortable playing it, don't play it. Like seriously, just enjoy a game of football every now and again. Anything to say as far as that goes? Any last minute promotionals, Josh?
No, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, now we are sliding out like Chris Collinsworth.